Have you ever finished cleaning your home, stood back, and felt a sense of satisfaction? Maybe even a little pride in how fresh and sparkling everything looks. It's a wonderful feeling, isn't it? We all want our homes to be clean, safe, and comfortable places to live. It's where we spend so much of our time, especially as we get a little older. But what if I told you that some of the very products you use to make your home clean could actually be putting your health at risk, perhaps in ways you've never even considered? It's a painful reality that sometimes the things we rely on out of habit or convenience can have hidden dangers, especially as our bodies change over the years. You might think, I've used this cleaner for decades. It's fine. But our bodies aren't the same as they were 30 or 40 years ago, are they? Our skin is more sensitive. Our lungs might not be as robust. And even our sense of smell can change, making us less aware of strong fumes. There are some common cleaning products sitting under many sinks right now that, if you're over the age of 70, really warrant a second look. They might seem harmless, but they can contribute to respiratory issues, skin problems, or even increase the risk of accidents in your home. In this video, we're going to shine a light on 3 types of cleaning products that are particularly risky for us as we get older. And more importantly, we'll talk about what you can use instead that's much safer and often just as effective. It's about making simple swaps that can make a big difference to your health and peace of mind. Stick with me, because we'll explore why these products are concerning and how easy it is to switch to better options. And watch to the end for something that will surprise you about cleaning safely at home. Let's start with the first type of cleaning product that really deserves a place on our avoid list if you're over 70, and that's those incredibly powerful, often thick, gel or foam-based drain cleaners. You know the ones I mean, the kind that promise to blast through clogs in minutes. They seem like a miracle worker when your sink is backed up, don't they? You just pour it in, wait, and hopefully, the problem is solved. The appeal is clear: convenience and speed. Nobody wants to deal with a slow-draining sink or a blocked shower. But these products are formulated with some of the most corrosive chemicals found in typical household cleaning supplies. We're talking about ingredients like sodium hydroxide, often called lye, or sulfuric acid. These are powerful substances designed to dissolve hair, grease, and other organic matter. And that's exactly why they are so dangerous to us. Think about it this way: if it can eat through a clog of hair and soap scum, what can it do to your skin, your eyes, or the delicate tissues in your lungs? For younger people, a splash might result in a burn that heals relatively quickly, assuming it's washed off immediately. But as we age, our skin becomes thinner and less resilient. Burns can be more severe, slower to heal, and potentially lead to more complications. Imagine just a tiny splash getting onto your hand or arm while you're pouring it. The reaction can be swift and painful. And what about splashes to the eyes? The damage can be catastrophic, potentially causing permanent vision loss. It's a risk that just isn't worth taking, especially when dexterity or reaction times might not be quite what they used to be. Lifting a heavy bottle, trying to pour it carefully into a narrow drain opening. It's a recipe for a potential mishap. Beyond direct contact, the fumes from these drain cleaners are incredibly hazardous. When these chemicals react with the clog or even just with water in the pipe, they can release strong, irritating, and sometimes toxic fumes. In a small, enclosed space like a bathroom or kitchen, these fumes can quickly fill the air. Breathing them in can irritate the respiratory system, causing coughing, shortness of breath, and exacerbating conditions like asthma or COPD, which are more common in older adults, even for someone without a pre-existing respiratory issue. These fumes can cause dizziness, nausea, and a burning sensation in the nose and throat. Opening a window might help a little, but often it's not enough to completely disperse the concentrated fumes from such powerful chemicals. Another often overlooked danger is the residue left behind or the potential for spills on the floor around the drain. These chemicals can make surfaces incredibly slippery. If you're standing on a potentially wet floor in the bathroom or kitchen, perhaps reaching under the sink, and there's a spill of this corrosive material, it's not just a slip hazard, but a slip hazard onto a chemical irritant. A fall in itself can be much more serious for older adults, leading to fractures or head injuries. Adding a chemical burn to that scenario is something we absolutely want to avoid. So, what's the safer approach when you have a slow drain first? Prevention is key. Try to use drain screens to catch hair and food particles. Avoid pouring grease down the sink. But when a clog does happen, there are much gentler and safer methods to try first. One tried and true method involves hot water and dish soap. Pouring boiling water down the drain can often loosen grease and minor blockages. Sometimes adding a squirt of dish soap first helps. For something a bit more stubborn, a combination of baking soda and vinegar is surprisingly effective and creates a fascinating fizzy reaction that can help break things up. Without the dangerous fumes or corrosive properties, you pour about half a cup of baking soda down the drain, followed by about a cup of white vinegar. Let it sit for 15-30 minutes. Then follow with a kettle of boiling water. It's a classic for a reason. If those methods don't work, a simple plunger is often very effective. It uses physical force and suction. No chemicals involved. Make sure you have a good seal over the drain and give it some vigorous pumps. If the clog is further down, a drain snake, also called an auger, is a simple tool you can feed down the pipe to physically break up or pull out the blockage. These are readily available at hardware stores and are relatively inexpensive. Using a snake might take a little more effort than pouring a chemical, but it eliminates the significant health risks. If the clog is persistent after trying these safer methods, it's time to call in a professional. Yes, there's a cost involved, but it's a small price to pay for avoiding potential chemical burns, respiratory distress, or other accidents in your home. A plumber has the right tools and expertise to deal with stubborn clogs safely. Think of it as an investment in your health and safety. Relying on those powerful, quick-fix drain cleaners is simply too risky as we get older. There are safer, equally effective, and often cheaper ways to tackle a slow drain. Making this switch is the first important step in making your home a healthier environment. Now that we've discussed those harsh drain unblockers, let's turn our attention to another common cleaning culprit that might be lurking in your cupboard. Continuing our look at cleaning products to be cautious with, let's talk about those general-purpose cleaners that come in spray bottles, especially the ones that promise to disinfect and kill germs everywhere. Kitchen counters, bathroom surfaces, doorknobs, you name it. They are incredibly convenient. Aren't they a quick spray and a wipe, and you feel like you've zapped all the nasties? We've been conditioned to believe that a truly clean surface must smell strongly of chemicals, often with a distinct, almost medicinal odor that we associate with disinfection. However, many of these all-purpose disinfectant sprays and cleaners contain potent chemicals like quaternary ammonium compounds, often listed as quats, bleach, sodium hypochlorite, or strong synthetic fragrances. While they are effective at killing germs, their widespread and frequent use, especially in a home environment, can pose cumulative health risks, particularly for older adults. One major concern is respiratory irritation. When you spray these products, tiny droplets become airborne. You might not see them, but you inhale them. The chemicals in these droplets can irritate the lining of your nose, throat, and lungs. For someone with sensitive airways, asthma, or other respiratory conditions like emphysema or chronic bronchitis, this can trigger coughing, wheezing, difficulty breathing, or even an asthma attack. Even in healthy individuals, repeated exposure can lead to increased sensitivity and chronic irritation. Think about how often you might use an all-purpose spray in a week, wiping down the kitchen counter after every meal, cleaning the bathroom sink daily, spritzing surfaces to feel extra clean. All that spraying adds up, contributing to the quality of the air you breathe indoors. And unlike outdoor air, indoor air can trap pollutants, making the concentration of these irritating chemicals higher. Our lungs, as we age, may not clear these irritants as effectively as they once did. Another issue is skin contact. While a quick touch might not cause a severe burn like a drain cleaner, repeated contact with the chemicals in these sprays can lead to dryness, redness, itching, and irritation, especially for sensitive skin. Many older adults experience changes in skin elasticity and thickness, making it more prone to irritation and slower to recover. Wearing gloves while cleaning is a good practice, but sometimes in the rush of daily chores, we might forget, or a little splash gets through. The synthetic fragrances added to many of these products, while intended to make things smell clean, are also common culprits for skin irritation and can be respiratory irritants themselves. Some people can even experience headaches or nausea from strong synthetic scents. Furthermore, the cumulative effect of using multiple products containing similar or reactive chemicals needs consideration. While product labels warn against mixing certain cleaners like bleach and ammonia, which creates dangerous chlorine gas, simply using different strong cleaners in the same area or shortly after one another can still contribute to a higher overall chemical load in the air and on surfaces in your home. For an older person who might be spending a significant amount of time indoors, this constant low-level exposure can be a subtle but persistent drain on their health and well-being, contributing to unexplained coughs, sniffles, or skin issues. The good news is that effective disinfection doesn't always require harsh chemicals. For everyday cleaning, a simple solution of warm water and dish soap is sufficient for removing most dirt, grime, and germs from surfaces. It physically removes them, which is often all that's needed for general hygiene. If you need to disinfect, for example, after handling raw meat, or if someone in the household is ill, there are safer options. Hydrogen peroxide, the standard 3% solution found in drugstores, is a good disinfectant and breaks down into water and oxygen. Leaving no harmful residue, you can spray it on a surface test in an inconspicuous spot first. Let it sit for a few minutes, and then wipe it clean. White vinegar is another excellent natural cleaner and mild disinfectant, effective against many types of bacteria and viruses. Diluted with water, a 50-50 mix is usually fine. It can be used on many surfaces, though avoid using it on natural stone like granite or marble as it can etch the surface. The smell of vinegar dissipates quickly as it dries. For times when you feel you need a stronger disinfectant, look for products that use plant-based ingredients or claim to be formulated without harsh chemicals. Read labels carefully and look for terms like fragrance-free or specific certifications for being safer or environmentally friendly. Better yet, consider using tried-and-true methods like heat. Using hot water and a clean cloth can effectively clean many surfaces. For items like sponges or cutting boards, running them through a hot dishwasher cycle is an excellent way to sanitize them. Remember, true cleanliness isn't about that strong chemical smell. It's about effectively removing or neutralizing germs and dirt without introducing new hazards into your living space. Swapping out those powerful perfume sprays for simpler, gentler alternatives like soap and water, vinegar, or hydrogen peroxide is a relatively easy change that can significantly reduce your exposure to irritating chemicals, helping you breathe easier and protecting your skin. It's about cleaning smart, not just cleaning hard with harsh products. Let's move on to the third category we should approach with caution. Now, the third category of cleaning products that people over 70 should be especially cautious with might seem a bit surprising to some, but it's those products designed to make things shine and smell nice. Specifically aerosol sprays for furniture polishing, air freshening, and dusting aids. We've used these for years to give our homes that final touch. Gleaming furniture, a pleasant scent wafting through the air, making dusting feel less dusty. They seem relatively benign compared to drain cleaners or strong disinfectants. Right. However, the primary concern with many of these products, especially in aerosol form, comes down to two things: what's in the spray itself and how it's delivered into the air you breathe. Aerosol sprays use propellants, often petroleum-based or other chemical compounds, to expel the product from the can. When you press that button, you're not just releasing the polish or the fragrance, you're also releasing these propellants and fine particles of the product into the air. These tiny particles can be easily inhaled deep into the lungs. For older adults, whose lungs may have reduced capacity or are more sensitive due to age or conditions like asthma or COPD, inhaling these fine particles and propellants can cause irritation, coughing, or breathing difficulties. Even in healthy individuals, prolonged or frequent exposure in poorly ventilated areas can lead to headaches, dizziness, or respiratory discomfort. Many furniture polishes contain solvents and silicone oils to create that shiny finish. While they make wood look lovely, the solvents can contribute to indoor air pollution and be irritating to the respiratory tract and eyes. The silicone oils can make surfaces incredibly slippery, and if they settle on hard floors or tiles near the furniture being polished, they create a significant slip hazard. A fall on a hard floor can have serious consequences for an older person, including fractures, head injuries, or other severe injuries. The desire for shiny furniture shouldn't come at the risk of a dangerous fall. Air fresheners, especially aerosol sprays, are another area of concern. They often contain synthetic fragrances made up of a complex mixture of chemicals. Rather than removing odors, they typically mask them with strong perfumes. Many people, particularly older adults, develop sensitivities to these synthetic fragrances over time. Exposure can trigger headaches, nausea, sneezing, watery eyes, and respiratory issues. Some studies have even linked exposure to chemicals commonly found in air fresheners to negative health effects, including respiratory problems. Furthermore, just like furniture polish, aerosol air fresheners release propellants and fine fragrance particles into the air you breathe. Using these regularly in your home means constantly introducing these chemicals into your indoor environment. Dusting sprays often contain similar propellants, solvents, and sometimes fragrances, while they can help dust stick to a cloth, making it seem more effective. They also release chemicals into the air and onto surfaces. For routine dusting, the most effective and safest method is often the simplest, a damp cloth or a microfiber cloth designed to capture dust particles. These methods physically remove the dust and allergens from surfaces without spraying chemicals or fine particles into the air. So, what are the safer alternatives for shining furniture and keeping your home smelling fresh? For furniture, instead of aerosol polishes, consider using natural oils or waxes specifically made for wood, applied with a cloth. Even a simple damp cloth followed by a dry cloth can effectively clean and bring out the natural luster of many surfaces. For wood furniture, a small amount of olive oil on a cloth can help condition and add a gentle shine. Without harsh chemicals or propellants, always test a small, inconspicuous area first. For making your home smell pleasant, focus on eliminating the source of odors rather than masking them. Good ventilation is key. Opening windows regularly to let in fresh air is the simplest and most effective way to improve indoor air quality and remove stale odors. Consider natural air fresheners like bowls of baking soda, which absorbs odors, fresh flowers, or essential oil diffusers using pure essential oils used cautiously and diluted. As even natural oils are potent, simmering cinnamon sticks or citrus peels on the stove in water can also create a lovely, natural aroma. Beeswax candles can help purify the air slightly and provide a pleasant, subtle scent without the chemicals found in many conventional scented candles. The goal is to achieve a clean, fresh-smelling home without relying on products that release potentially harmful chemicals, fine particles, and strong fragrances into your breathing space or create hazardous slippery surfaces. By opting for non-aerosol alternatives and focusing on natural methods for polishing and air freshening, you significantly reduce your exposure to unnecessary irritants and propellants, making your home a healthier place to live. It's about making conscious choices for your well-being, ensuring the air you breathe indoors is as clean and pure as possible. We've talked about those harsh drain cleaners, the powerful all-purpose sprays, and the aerosol polishes and air fresheners. Switching away from these is a powerful step towards a safer home. We've covered 3 types of cleaning products that, while common and seemingly convenient, pose particular risks for people over 70. Those harsh drain uncloggers with their corrosive chemicals and dangerous fumes. The strong all-purpose disinfectant sprays loaded with irritants and synthetic fragrances that fill our air. And the aerosol polishes and air fresheners that release propellants and fine particles into our lungs and create slippery hazards. It might feel like a lot to take in. Perhaps a little overwhelming to think about changing cleaning habits you've had for decades. But please don't feel discouraged. The message here isn't one of fear, but of empowerment. It's about being aware of potential risks and knowing that you have safer, often simpler, alternatives readily available. Remember, making small, gradual changes can have a profound impact on your health and happiness. You don't have to overhaul your entire cleaning cupboard overnight. Perhaps start with just one product you're going to swap out this week. Maybe you'll decide that next time your drain is slow, you'll reach for the baking soda and vinegar instead of that strong chemical bottle. Or perhaps you'll commit to using a damp microfiber cloth for dusting instead of a spray. Each small step you take reduces your exposure to chemicals that can irritate your lungs, your skin, and potentially lead to accidents. It's about creating a living environment that supports your health, not undermines it. Think about the difference it could make to your breathing, especially if you've been experiencing unexplained coughing or sniffles indoors. Think about how your skin might feel less dry or irritated if you're not constantly using harsh sprays. Think about the reduced risk of a dangerous fall simply by avoiding slippery residues from polishes. These might seem like minor issues individually, but combined, they contribute significantly to your overall comfort, well-being, and safety in your own home. And isn't that what we all want? To feel safe and comfortable in the place we cherish most? The something that might surprise you that I mentioned at the beginning. It's just how effective, and often how much cheaper, the simpler, less toxic alternatives really are. We've been marketed powerful, specialized cleaners for every imaginable surface and problem, leading us to believe we need a cupboard full of potent chemicals to have a truly clean home. But often, the basic ingredients found in your pantry, like baking soda, white vinegar, and even simple dish soap, combined with good old-fashioned hot water and a bit of elbow grease or a clever tool like a plunger or drain snake, are all you need for the vast majority of cleaning tasks. You can save money, reduce chemical waste, and most importantly, protect your health by returning to these traditional, safer methods. It's a surprising truth in a world full of complex, chemical-laden products. Making these swaps isn't about being a perfect cleaner or never using a convenience product again. It's about being mindful, making informed choices, and prioritizing your health and safety as you enjoy these precious years. It's about recognizing that your body has changed, and what was perhaps a minor exposure risk decades ago might be a more significant one now. You've earned the right to live in a home that is not only clean, but also a sanctuary for your health. I truly hope this conversation has been helpful and empowering for you. It's important to share this knowledge. So if you know someone who might benefit from hearing about these safer cleaning alternatives, please share this video with them. Your experiences and tips are also incredibly valuable. Have you already switched to safer cleaning products? Do you have a favorite natural cleaning recipe? Please share your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. Let's build a community of support and shared wisdom. If you found this information useful, please give this video a like. It helps others find this important advice. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to my channel for more tips and information aimed at helping you live your best, healthiest, and happiest life at every age. Thank you for spending this time with me. Remember, small changes can indeed make a world of difference. Take care, and live your best life at every age.